What's good, family? It's your man the YB back once again. Oh my god. Oh my god, people. I don't even want to be on here, truth be known. I'm done with this game. I'm just speechless, heartbroken, no voice. KMT. Honestly, it's truly peak right now. It's truly peak. I'm so tired of this game. Just tired of it now. Team Light, this, I'm telling you, man, last year has been woeful for Team Lighty. I think that's all. I think we're all out of the game now, truth be known. Team Lighty's washed. And I hate to say it, but all these trainers, yeah, they get a lot of credit. Oh, Ismail Salas, Cuban style. Now, to be fair to Ismail, you could say, well, YB, Joe's been taking big shots since the start of his career. I don't know how hard it is, man, but I have to give Zhang a lot of credit because Zhang tonight did what Joe was supposed to do. To be fair to Zhang didn't look like he had a punch on him. Zhang had that, I don't know, his defense, he wasn't slipping and sliding. His hands were just up. And Joe's shots, as I've been mentioning for many months now, he slaps his shots. They're slapping. Now you can say YB, but we knew this before. And I was saying it before. In fact, I told Joe himself. The shots are slapping. Your hands come back to your chest. Dong, 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 dong. Now, in all fairness to Joe, listen, man, I don't think the fight should have been stopped. I think the fight was an early stoppage. I ain't gonna lie to you. For me, I had it 50-50. Zhang was landing the quality, but Joe was landing the volume. Again, it wasn't having much effect though. I think potentially Joe actually came in too light as well. All this talk about shape, looking back on it, the Parker fight, he was 20 pounds heavier, took a better shot. I mean, we've never seen Joe doing the Millie Rock, yeah. Joe Joyce tonight, he was about to go almost. It looked like at points. In fact, I can't play the footage obviously, but you can see this exchange here in the frames. Joe ends up doing a stanky, doing a Millie Rock, starts crip walking. Look, I've never seen Joe in this much of a bad situation before. My worst fears have come true, in as much as we all said. I mean, Joe didn't get knocked out, didn't get knocked down, but he might as well have done for what it's worth. He got stopped, taking shots, clean shots. I mean, there's so many things to talk about. The matchmaking, it was so unnecessary. I said this. I said Zhang he's the hype killer. And that appears to be what this is. Meanwhile, Tyson Fury's fighting Chisora. Meanwhile, Usyk's fighting Dubois, who Joyce beat. Do you know what I'm saying? Again, the hype killer. Now, I have to salute Zhang because Zhang came and did what he's supposed to do. But I'm not impressed with Joe's team. I'm not impressed with Joe's team at all. I'm not impressed with the strategy. I thought Joe was planning on coming and boxing more like the Dubois fight. I mean, the easiest parallels to make are the fact that the Dubois fight, he weighed the same. So I was thinking he'd come in there. Look how much on his P's and Q's Joe was in the Dubois fight. He was dancing around, jabbing, and just building momentum. He looked flat tonight. Was it the weight? I don't know, but he did look flat. Then again, is it just a case of Zhang? Zhang's a 280-pound man. He's not 5 foot or 6'2" like Parker. In that sense, he's a big, hard, big, heavy man. And it appears the shots that were lighting up Parker and lighting up whoever else weren't lighting up Zhang. So I have to give Zhang full credit here. Now, thankfully, Fish Eyes has done one thing well, and there is rematch clause. But I'm telling you now, if Joe goes in there with this shoddy trainer again, I'm sorry, shoddy. Yeah, Joe's style isn't rocket science. Get your hands up into a shell, narrow and high, and you work from that narrow and high base. You don't work from here. Dong, dong, dong. Joe's arms come back to here every time. Dong. Head's wide open. I give credit to Zhang because if you look at Zhang on the defense, I'm trying to see if there's any clips of it, but Zhang was chin down, doing the chin down, hands up. It sounds cliche, but Joe don't seem to do chin down, hands up. It's kind of like chin neutral, hands down. And tonight we saw how that's going to become undone. In as much as Again, look at Joe here in the corner. We've never seen Joe. I mean, I thought at this point it was going to be a standing 8 count, to be fair. I think it probably should have been. To be honest with you, at the end of this exchange, when the referee jumped in, there was no... Look, at this point, Zhang was teeing off, and then all of a sudden the referee steps in. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why the referee stepped in. To me, again, that was a standing 8 count. So the writing's on the wall here, people. Joe can't keep taking shots for nothing. Either way you look at it, even if you say, well, he can take shots, he didn't go down. He can take shots, he didn't get knocked out. You can't take shots because you've got a dodgy eye. And we already know Joe has inflamed. To be honest with you, I'm surprised it hasn't happened earlier. In as much as I think Joe had some sort of accident on a bike, I think, or something. And he's got loads of scar tissue around his eyes. So it was again, I ain't gonna lie to you. I've always thought, I wonder why his scarred eyes haven't flared up before. Okay, they flared up. Honestly, it's a tragic situation. I can't even, my voice isn't right, so I can't vocalise how tragic of a situation this is. I wasn't feeling in the best the last few days anyway, but this is just proper like pop my bubble. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, again, no, it's not even again. Eubank losing, Eubank's a clown. Yeah, Eubank's been fighting bums for so many years. Who else lost? Yard losing. He's lost before. He was fighting a pound for pound number 1. Do you know what I'm saying? Who else was there? Connor Trent juicing. Team Lighty. This is the biggest hit yet. I didn't see this coming. And I have to say fair play. One of my darkies who I was watching the fight with, he actually said round 6, Zhang. As it happens, I think Bet365 wouldn't let him put money on, but anyway, he would have made some coins still. But man, tragic. And the worst thing is, I think he got to round 5 or 6 and Zhang didn't even look gassed, which was mine and many other people's base cases. Zhang will gas after 6 and Joyce will come on strong. Joyce's shots, they were slapping, but they had just no effect. And Joe, if anything, Joe looked tired. Now I would like to understand why the big weight swing. Why go from 275 to 255? I wonder what that's about. For such a big man. Especially when the strategy didn't look as if it was to box. I didn't see much boxing in there from Joe. And I actually think potentially one of the problems with Joe's defense is his offense. When you're outputting 60, 70, 80 punches a round, that gives you 60, 70, 80 counter-punch opportunities. It's almost like Joe's so focused on offense and pushing his arms out from shoulder level, he's not thinking about what's coming back. Which in this game, it's all fun and games until it's not. And honestly, I can't believe we're actually sitting here now and saying this. It's tragic. The only way it could have been worse for me is if I'd have put money on it. And I thought I was doing Joe a favour. But I'm not putting money on it, as it happens. Did myself a favour for once. But still, unbelievable, people. There needs to be an inquest. Team Joyce need to have an inquest into this fight. The training team, shoddy. I'm sorry. The basics aren't done well. Yeah? Chins in the air, hands are down, and you're slapping your shots. I mean, I'm not sure what are they doing in camp. Truth, I gotta be honest with you. After watching this fight, I don't know what they'd be doing in camp. Cuban, Misty, it's Cuban. Well, if it's Cuban, why are you getting it every single fight? And let's be real here, people, yeah? It's not like you can say, well, YB, saying in all fairness, is top level and Salas had him looking good against Hammer. No. Joe Joyce has been open for the straight right hand or left hand since time began. Now you could say, well, YB is 40 years old and you can't fix problems. I'm sorry, but when you're in the gym as an athlete, I've been there, not to Joe's level, but the point I'm making is you're in there 5 hours a day. If you can't train and discipline and drill your hands religiously, We know other fighters can. Bivol, Canelo, even Zhang. Zhang, for what it's worth, who ain't got a great gas tank, his hands was up. If you haven't got a trainer who can drill the basics, I don't give a F about Cuban. Let's start with chin down, hands up. Let's start there as a base. There's a reason you don't see. Now people can say head movement, but Bivol isn't known for amazing head movement. He's got his feet and he's got his hands up. In fact, Canelo versus Bivol is a good example of good, solid fundamentals. They can move their feet backwards and they can put their hands up. Even Liam Smith, to be honest with you, another good example. Even Callum Smith. The reason Callum Smith didn't get his eye popped against Canelo, the reason Liam Smith doesn't get his eye popped by Canelo, well, the reason you don't see Liam Smith with big, huge bunions, his hands up, this is the basics of boxing. And unfortunately, Mr. Cuban don't seem to get that one. Now, it's not a slight at him, I'm just saying. Listen, the thing about me is, I tell Joe himself, I've been said to Joe, you can't afford to take shots. I don't care what you're doing in training, get them hands. If I was training Joe, yeah, his hands would be pinned to his head. If you're not jabbing, and even when you jab, a lot of fighters, yeah, they'll have their hands here, and then drop it to their waist, and then throw it out. Watch Bivol when he fights toe-to-toe Canelo. His shots, they're all coming. They're all coming off the headline. Not AJ style. Okay, headline, shoulder line, out. That's no good. All from the headline. People like Golovkin, you don't see Golovkin's eye mash up. You don't see Canelo's eye mash up. You don't see Bivol's eye mash up. And you also don't see these guys taking huge shots. Again and again and again and again and again. Like it's fun. And tonight we found out it's not fun. It's not fun because Joe was nearly knocked out. I gotta be honest with you, people. There was several. Look at this. Look at the dynamics of this. Joe's in the corner, and he was almost out on his feet. This should have been a standing 8 count. Now I respect Joe, and I gotta say, Howard Foster, for what it's worth, this is prize fighting. Howard Foster is like an auntie. He shouldn't be in a ring. He stopped the George Groves fight early, and he stopped this fight early. The doctor and Howard Foster were begging to stop this fight for some reason. I found it precarious that Frank Warren wasn't there either, for what it's worth. Wait a minute, your third biggest fighter's fighting and you send your son out? Why isn't... Fair enough, listen, if Frank Warren sent his son out for Daniel Dubois versus Kevin Lerena, oops, Frank was there for that. Do you know what I mean? What's that about? I don't know. But anyway, end of the day, man, Joe didn't handle his business tonight. Even if I think the fight was stopped early. But even then, it's not like Zhang was looking like he was about to fall over from gas. Zhang looked pretty comfortable. Zhang was standing up in the corner. And Joe's was looking worse. His eye. I was telling my friend from round 1 or 2, Joe's face is looking swollen. We've never seen that before. Joe's usually the guy to throw people. Zhang looked like he was, honestly, Zhang's face and body, and even his breathing looked like he was moving at a canter. Joe was throwing volume of emptiness. And I've been telling him for ages, turn your elbows in. Dig your shots in. Stop slapping and just pushing them out for the sake of it. And here we are. Speechless, people. Tragic. Man. It hurt. This one, for me, this one hurt. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't got no jokes for this one. Tragic, man. What could have... Yeah, the rematch again. If the rematch... Yeah, end of the day, man. Joe's got to fix that defense, man. He's got to. He's got to fix his defense, and he's got to fix his offense. You can't be slapping at this level. Joe's arms, his elbows are caved in. Go and watch. The way to hook is like Canelo, is like Mike Tyson. Short, high elbow, and you whip it in. You almost turn it over from the waist. You don't just slap it and chin in the air and just... The problem with slapping is that you need volume. When you're slapping punches, you need to throw 80 or 90 punches as a 270-pound man to do damage. Look at Canelo. Canelo fights people and throws about 10 hooks around, or 10 punches around, and wins, because they're effective shots. And in fact, Zhang tonight, I have to give credit, because if anyone looked like Canelo, in as much as Canelo wins fights, yeah, he's not the most volume, but you know when he punches. Tonight, we knew when Zhang was punching. Really, we rarely knew when Joe was punching. And Joe was the one doing the output, which is almost... There's two ways it's going to cut. Volume or accuracy and power. You've got to have some balance there. Tonight, we didn't see no power. And even the accuracy again, they was all on the gloves and arms. Zhang's face was clean. But yeah, tragic. I hope Joe's okay. Hope his family's okay. Yeah, I feel bad. I can't lie to you. I feel bad. I feel bad right now, psychologically speaking. I don't feel stable. I don't feel bad. It's just not good. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, tragic, man. Truly tragic right now for the YB right now. No doubt about that one. Anyway, I'll come back tomorrow with some more videos. Probably talk about this referee scam some more. But even if we say the referee stopped the fight early, I'd be lying to you if I said that Joe was about to come on strong, or it may have changed the way the fight was going to go. I have to give Joe credit. He didn't jack like Dubois. Every single time the referee pulled him, he did his best to say how many numbers there were. And from what I understand from the lip read, Joe was correct in terms of getting the number right. But I don't know what the referee and the doctor are on. So as far as Joe goes, as being an old school fighter, he still has 10 out of 10 respect for that. He didn't take a knee. He didn't go to his corner and look for a way out like Hellbrook. Yeah, he took his licks and he kept trying to fight on to the very end. Even when he was out on his feet or rocked, kept on fighting. That's something we don't see. And also I give Joe credit. Unlike Tyson Fury, he's fighting a real hype killer. The man who beat Hergovich. Tyson Fury is fighting Derek Chisora and Andy Ruiz. Yeah? That's the bottom line here. Joe's still the real deal, and I pray that he makes the right moves to beat Zhang. Can Joe beat Zhang? Absolutely. Can Joe beat Zhang with Salas? Not in my opinion. Because guess what? If Joe could beat Zhang with Salas, Joe wouldn't have been getting rocked by Christian Hammer with overhand right. Yeah, if Ismail Salas can't train you to avoid or defend an overhand right from Takam or Hammer, he ain't going to be able to train you to beat a southpaw Zhang. That's the bottom line. That's what we found out tonight. Yeah? And we also saw that for the first time, potentially a chink in Joe's armour. He can be hurt. I've never seen Joe in this situation before. He needs to put the weight back on. 270, 275. And anyway, man. What a life. Madness. Yeah, but I have to salute Zhang. Zhang did it. Zhang did what he's supposed to do. I didn't give him any credit or likely to win the fight, but he's the real deal. Don't get me wrong, I give him a lot of respect for beating Hergovich. But still, I didn't see this coming. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought the odds were wrong. Joe Joyce being a 7-1 favourite was wrong. That's why I didn't put money on it, if that makes sense. The odds didn't make no sense. I thought this fight was 70-30 for Joe. And it ended up being 60-40 for Zhang in the end. But Zhang, based on damage, which is a key thing I go based on, Zhang had no damage on his face, and Joe was looking bad. So there's no... Even if the fight stopped and went to points, Zhang should have won at that point. At the end of round 6 or whenever it was, Zhang would have won that fight. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, and let off the bell 100%.